All right, we are now ready for the lemon part. This is coming along. I'm really happy with this. I hope you're enjoying it. Remember, don't get caught up in making these leaves too realistic because they're going to fight against the focal point is the lemons. And so even though our image and that everything, it's a picture, so it's going to be that way. But in a painting, we want that. I might even go back up and loosen them up a little bit more. I'm not sure. I am going to grab, though, and use something different to put my paint in because it's really creating a mess with the other. Let's go ahead and start with the lemons. We're going to start darker and then go lighter. I've got here, actual color that I have is called lemon. So I'm going to put that in. Mix that. It's older, so it is coming out very thick. I am filling my, since the whole thing is lemons, I'm filling my whole thing full here with this lemon color. And I'll work off of that. I do have a light one here that's just a real sunshine yellow. It's very light as white. I'll use that for highlights at the end. I'm going to add, not that one, but this one. This is the leaf green. Is that it? Yes, it's kind of a greeny yellow. I'm going to put that on the far side. We'll put that down as dark colors to start with. So let's start up here with this one at the top here. And I'm going to use this leaf. It's actually like it's a yellow green is what it is. They called it folk art and they called it new leaf green, but kind of a green yellow. I will put this on first. I'm going to actually mix my brush up a little bit here. Let's just go ahead and add some of that. Let me put that down. It looks like yellow right now as I'm putting it on, but when it dries, we'll see what happens. I'll probably need to put a little more shading onto it. Pull some up from here, from behind this side of this lemon, and just go right around it. And I want to leave a little bit of a light area right there for it. Got some dark down here. Look at your, whoops, my leaf. Look at your, where you've got your shading in that. We're going to pull some up this way, and I'm going to make it so that the lines curve around the direction. That's important because it gives that, it helps to enforce that it's round. I don't know what's wrong with that brush. Grab this one. Okay, that's, and I'm going to, well, I've got that color. We'll work on it. All right, let's put this here because this side has some. It's that bottom of that lemon. And it's going to be really dark, so I'll be covering it with something else, but I want that green on there. A little bit on this top edge for that. And this color, let's put it down here. There's a real dark shadow down here. Got that. And on this one, we've got, it's going to be dark back behind these leaves, obviously. And up in this area. Make sure you can see that, but it's just right up towards this edge. And I'm doing circular kind of like arc, there we go, arc strokes so that it's more curvy round than it is. Let's see if you can see that. See that? And we've got this whole bottom part here, which I can see my value study. We did this side of this. I'm going to turn it, make sure you can still see it, but it's easier for me because I'm coming towards me to get those strokes the direction I need those strokes to go in. Just keep looking up at your image when you're doing this so that you're really studying it and seeing what direction everything's going. Okay, nice. A little bit up here, coming around. See, I'm actually looking too at my where I did the value study, and it's helping me a lot to see the areas of shadow. I even have the value study really up here, coming up a little bit more probably. And if we're comparing, this one is going to be darker. It may not be quite as dark, but it is going to be darker because it's going to be behind this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Because some areas I'm going to have to pull that forward. Okay, I think everything else is great. And obviously I know that's not the darkest. So now I'll take that and we can add, let's add some of the Payne's gray to this green. And this is where I'll come in here. And finish bringing this up underneath this. For that shadow. Yeah, that really helps to, I don't know if you can even see it that well, but see how that just really adds some depth in that to that. This darker, we've got a little bit around this edge, just a teeny bit up here at the top. Oops, went right over my leaf. No problem. Actually, it is a problem, but right back here, we're going to put this green, this. I might have to come back with my leaf a little bit more, but it's the leaf that's casting that shadow, so paint it so that it's like super dark. Where's some of that Payne's gray? I mean, it's almost like black right in here, you know, as far as. So I'm going to use it and then kind of blend it out. Put it down there. And we'll come back once it dries and put that lighter line here. Got a little darker, but it's not solid Payne's gray. It's up here, especially on the tip. And then going around the edge here. And it almost like there's a little ridge or crevice or something here. So I'm going to stop it right at that point right now. And then move my brush strokes the opposite direction because I want to keep that so you get that feeling of that happening. Back and kind of smooth that out so it's not, I don't want it to be too nice. Pull this. Just play with it a little bit. Down here, it's really dark. Here, it's not quite as dark, but I'm going to put some of that green over the Payne's gray. There. Let's add some of that Payne's gray down here. So I don't have too stark of a line. Grab some more of that. And up here. We'll go more on the edges here with the darker. Back edge of it. I want to leave still some of that. Don't want to cover everything. That's what I'm saying here. Just leave a little of that color. So you want it to be dark because it is the shadowy part of the, but you want to leave a little of the first color popping through. And that's happened there. Good deal. Looking good. Now let's go right into, I'm going to mix a little bit of this green that I've been using in with this yellow, this bright yellow here. And I think I'll add a little bit of red. Well, I don't, that might, maybe some orange or something. Definitely need to add some matte medium in. So it will flow. And this will give me just a little bit deeper of a shade than the next layer I put on. So we're going from darker all the way up to the lighter, and kind of playing around a little bit with your midtones, and grab some more of that green. Don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but I've been grabbing some of that green here and mix it in with it. And it's just a little bit of a shade darker than that one. Could add, let's go ahead and maybe add this one, Sunflower, just because I want to give it, but not much, just a drop. Yeah, I mean, it's just a drop in that. Really want a different color. I don't want it too grayed out, but Sunflower has a little bit of, it's a yellow orange in it, so that kind of warms it up. Now we're going to go ahead and do the majority of our lemon. And try the just these cross hatch short strokes on it. I'm going to take those strokes. I had them cross hatched, but I'm going to arch them a little bit, try to follow the roundness of the lemon. Still let just little areas pop through of other color. I think what I want to do with this is just use water and blend those a little bit. What's wrong with that brush? Because I need to keep it dark, but I want it to blend out better. So I'm using it's a wet brush, but I'm not using any paint on it, and I'm just blending that together. Do you see that? Where was it? Is it backwards there for you? I think you can see it. Okay, same thing here. Use my brush. I'm just going to kind of blend that brush is not, something's wrong with it, but I'm going to use the water. Pull some of that up. And just blend that down into it. Do strokes over the top. There's the lemon. Now we've got to do some highlight on it, but just cooking right along here. You know, if you look at the thing, it's almost like where that, you can see where the bright spot is. It's almost like a little circle because that light is hitting it so hard. And then it's almost like the lemon itself, the rind, it just makes this circular movement all around. So I'm gonna put that in there. I'm gonna kind of follow through with that with my strokes a little bit. It's because I want it to, I want it to feel round. I want it to be round. I can come back over that with that green. So just circular motions, what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to come back like I did with the first one, put some water on this brush. And I'm going to lift up some of the, so I don't have such a stark, hard edge. Keep those strokes moving that direction around. There. Get that a little closer to you. See that? Okay. Keep going. We're just cruising along here. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm not going to try to, just the looser I am, I love that actually as it dries. So I'm thinking that the feel is, circular like this, curved over. I can see a bright spot right here. I'm going to go ahead and paint this, and then I'll come back with that highlight, create that really bright spot. Bring this down here, and I'm going over my dark. And I've actually gone over my, let's see, I need another little brush. Maybe this flat tip, just water. Need to pull that off. Just like that. Wipe it on my paper towel. There we go. Since the other surface is dry, it'll come right up. That works great. Should have done that with this edge over here too, but I'll come back with my green. All right. I like that. I even have some of the blue showing through it. I'm going to take my water and kind of go this way with it, pull it back. If I need to, I'll add some more of that green back here, this top, and just sort of blend it, play it back and forth, playing back and forth. As my day's going on, my light is changing here, so. To kind of lift it up and look at myself, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Take this. Take this. Lift it back from that and leave it. That looks good to me. I love that. Let's work on this one right here. Now this is yellow. It's not as dark as all of that. It doesn't have a lot of, so I'll use this color, not the green color, but I'm going to put this over this. Then we come back over with that really light highlight over the top of it. And I'm not being really super careful around because that purple's showing through beautifully. Go towards the center here. This is the same color that I've been doing on these right here. It's not my bright yet. Look at that. Fantastic. The white will come over that. The color that this is that goes on top, I'm going to take this, add a little bit of the lighter color to it. Down here in the corner. Just to mix those two together. Start filling this in here. And I'm letting it be streaky, because that's just how it normally is. So I'm gonna, so you can kind of see that purple and the blue, you know, shining through a little bit here and there, which is great. Just hitting it down. So this is actually going to be just a step lighter than this color that I've put on. You know, for that's on the, that I just put on. And we'll keep lightening it up. stripes. Just come straight down. Okay. I'm going to come back with that darker color because I did go over it right here and just re-emphasize that. Just like that. Lovely. Okay. So we're looking at it. I'm kind of letting things dry, so I'm moving a little slower on it. The dark shadowing is popping up beautifully here to make these edges darker because I've just put one layer over. I'm not making it super hot dark. Okay, let's move now. Well, I don't even have to clean my brush. I'm going to take that lighter color and go straight to the pure color itself. And I'm going to go along these edges here. And up here. This is not the lightest light. Okay, but it's getting into, I don't want to cover up my shadows, but I want to just hit a few spots to make that lighter. It is right in here. I'm going to go slow. I'm not going to go too fast. I want it to. I'm going to go ahead and put it down here. The light will go right over this area. I'm going to blend that in, and this is coming up here. I'm going to come back with a little bit of that green, yellow if I've got any of that left. And re-emphasize this divot in this. And it will get more emphasized as I put in the light, the bright white. Okay. Take my square tip and just dry brush it over it. Think about how that lemon, how it, goes around. Just think about that. Have your brush strokes move in those directions. I'm going to put a little bit, there's just a tiny bit of highlight right in here. And there'll be a lighter spot down there. Let's go back over to this one. And this is more around where this highlight's going to be. So it's going to go over that greeny area. Blend that down. Just blend that. little bit of an arch feeling this way. Maybe a little bit up here, just lightly dry, kind of the dry brush. But let's take this brush and lift some of that back. It almost has a little bit of a reflection too. I'm going to mix this in with the yellow, but it's that background color. So I can see, and I don't know if it's just my eyes right now, but let's put that down, grab a little of the yellow, mix in with it. Maybe grab more of it. And I'm just lightly touching that area right there. Do the same thing with this here. Don't want a lot. I don't want it to, show up a lot, but I do want it to be almost just brighter than that area, but yet still, it needs to blend in. Take my paper towel and dab around that. Okay. So you saw what I did there. I took a little of my background color and mixed it with yellow and just put a highlight on it. Can we get closer? Can you see that in there? Okay, we're going to go back to this one, and I got the circular feeling going on, so I'm using my yellow. And just go around it. Be loose, be free. Just go over the top of it. Do a top layer of it. The others will show through. Fantastic. Take this and go right along here. Sure, my edging doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want that yellow showing here because I'm coming back with the white or the off, a lighter color. Which I'm ready to do now. So I'm going to take this, and we're pretty close to just highlights. Stick that on to the palette. And it's called Sunshine Yellow, but it's just a real pale. You could take the same. I would take this yellow and I would take a little off and add white to it. But just because I have it here, I'm going to do that. And this almost is white. We're going to go with this color first, though. I'm not going to go right up to the edge. I'm leaving a little of that all around, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You want it to be a little wavy. You could use a small flat tip for this. I mean, squared flathead. This has a nice point on it. It's got something dragging though. So I'm going to use it, and I'm coming right up to where the edges of these are and going around it. I'm not going to go down in too much, but I am going to come to it and kind of blend it in a little. Okay, you can see how I'm doing that. So really I'm using 2 yellows. I've gone over that, so I'll have to go back in and add my yellow back in. But 1 yellow will do this. You can have a yellow, and then if you've got a light color, but you have yellow and white and something to kind of darken it with, which I use what am I trying to say? This green yellow. That's what I used for my shading color. So you use one of your greens that you used for your leaf that's not too dark, that you did the highlights, because it all pulls it together when you start using those colors that are already in the painting. Even though it's not exactly, it just adds. Just feels like it belongs. Okay, now I'm getting this up to the edge too much, but let's see if I can back off. All right. The center of this is color. Little. So I'm taking it now and I'm not doing a solid straight line. It is more paint at this end of it. Oops, got that a little thick there. And then I'm lifting it and just bringing it up towards it, but I'm not bringing it solid. I've still got some of that other color there. And I'm going to come back in with my white. Let's see. Yes, I do want, is it a cream white I want? Or the white? Nope, I want the white. And I'm going to put it over here by itself. But I am going to be mixing it in with this, a little bit of that yellow. So we're going to go a little lighter with that. Now we're going over and I'm leaving that outer ridge. I'm going to do, rather than long, the whole thing, do short strokes. Just to kind of keep that unevenness so it's not too, you get it too perfect, too precise, then it starts looking like it's been, created by computer or something. Feels like I'm getting a little bit too much up in here, so grab this and bring this back up. This is actually where the shadowy area is. Just bring that back because my brush went a little bit too much. Bring that shadow back in. If you get too much shadow, then you just come back with a lighter yellow over the top. Yeah, this is giving. Yeah. just bring this around the corners a little bit. I'm not going to go back down it too much, but I am going to just a little bit blend it, not blend it, but don't be abrupt. Just sort of pull some down a little further and some up a little higher. Go around these things like this. Makes your lemon pop. Gets rid of that because you've got a little, like it creates a little ridge. So this gets rid of that ridge. I love that. And I'm going to bring it, I'm not going to just circle in and do the whole, bring it in a little bit, just from the edges. Leave some of that yellow coming through. And then come back. I'm grabbing the background color because it just seems to be, it just has a little bit of browny, pink something. Okay. Now that may have made a little, take a smaller brush and work with that in here. I'm going to grab my yellow. It's right off this brush. I'm going to come back in, go over that. So just think about, give yourself time to kind of layer it, play with it. It's the layering of colors makes it so beautiful. And I really want to keep these where it comes in more at a point area. Don't want to lose that. See how that goes. And it's light. Let's see, I see it. It's like it's kind of light up in here. So I'm going to grab that lighter color. Streak it in here. It's darker on most of those, but it is lighter on these upper few. So just put it in there. Doesn't have to be exact, but it gives it enough variety. Even this one has just a little bit. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry for a second because okay, step away from that, let it dry so you can kind of look at and assess it. Now let's do our highlight for this one. It is right around here. And put those brushes in water. Let's get a different brush that's round. Pull that back a little bit here. Okay. Just kind of hit that a little bit. Back here, it's not too much, but we're going to give a little bit of highlight back here. Just a teeny bit. Blend that in. I'm going to wet this down over here. Put the highlight, but I'm wetting it down a lot. Dry off my brush. I'm going to grab a little more of that. I'm going to pull it back this way so that it just kind of there takes it off a little. Grabbing some of that dark Payne's gray. I can come back with something else in here, but I'm going to add that here. Okay. Now we're on to the highlight here. For this one, it's right about this area. Kind of just kick it. There. Just kind of jack it back and forth. Just jitty jig jig. Really want that light. We want it to be really bright, right in one spot. Like just really pinpoint that. And that takes care of that. Let's come back with a little bit of pure white. I'm going to grab this bright yellow. I've got a lot of that. And I'm going to go around the edge now with it. And it's okay if it goes in and out, if it's wobbly, because that's the lemon's rind is not completely perfectly keeping it thin. I'm using a pretty thin brush here, but and I'm going around with the true yellow of what I was using. Careful. There we go. Any place else that needs that nice highlight? Maybe right along this edge here. Okay. Try not to create a line, so pull it out a little bit. Where else? I'm going to turn it this way so that my hand movement can go with it. I don't know. I don't know that I need it, so I'm going to take some off my brush. I don't want too much on there. Yes, love it. How does that look? Does that look great? I love that. I could always bring back in, not a brown, but my gray pastel. And then you just rub that and blend that in right over the top. Give a nice little shadow right there. That kind of helps. Maybe go over this a little bit just to push that back so it's not standing out so much. Back in here, it needs to be darker. See, I can use that to really pull in some dark areas, which you could do with the paint if you wanted to. See, it's a little darker down in here. The nice thing about this is you can really blend it out, you know, or your watercolor pencil. You will use that a lot, where you just do your line and then you bring water over it, and it. See, we can use some water on this. Let's see what happens. Kind of gets rid of that pencil-y look. And helps to pull it off of there a little bit so it's not too far down. Like so. Going to dry that. Let me get my watercolor pencil so you see that. Just take my watercolor pencil, go along the edge there, take a wet brush, activate it, and then just going to maneuver it around where I want that shadow to be. You kind of watch that you don't pull it all back off with the water, you know, with your brush and the water, but it leaves a shadow. Under here, now we've got this dark back here, but we can pull it out, feather it, kind of, is what I'm needing to do, is just sort of feather it a little bit. I thought that was pastel I put on, but that's the watercolor. You're just putting a little under there, and it creates that shadow effect. See that? And really probably could use that for like right in these, because these are actually kind of darker. Gotta use that brush. Let's find a different one. Yes, we need like a little thin brush. That's what you need, is just a little thin brush. Yes, you don't want a lot of, just need a little bit for the shadowing. You can pull up some of that and actually take it over to another one. Oops. There, that just gives that little bit of darkness in some of those areas. Just a little bit. So right here, I went over it so many times. I need to put a little something there to create that shadow. That's better. Okay. And we got something, it's kind of dark down in here, and these are they're not too dark, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to lift it. There, I like that. Yes, just like that. And there is our lemons. Super fun. I hope you enjoy doing this. Playing, enjoying, and working with this. Let's see. Is there something else I forgot? Yes, almost forgot. We're going to take, we need this. There's a little white line here. So I'm using the light yellow. That's a lot, so I'm taking that off a little. And where was the other? I thought there was another down here. Got really pretty bright highlights down there. Yeah, it's just a little bit right here. Little highlight. So I'll probably walk away from it, come back to it, play with it a little bit, but that's what we do with our art sometimes. Just relax, enjoy it. Think a lot when you're doing these lemons of the direction. Don't just paint it, but make your strokes, your brush strokes, create that, that roundness and art kind of feeling in it. Don't worry about your leaves. Don't try to make them so perfect. That was my tendency. I wanted them to look just like those leaves in that picture right there. But let go of the leaves and really put more emphasis on these lemons here. I might go back in even and just kind of mute them down a little bit. I don't know. I think I'll just leave them alone and not. But this is bothering me right here. I need to make it actually a dark and not a blue. So I'll use my pastel that goes over that, and it can go right onto this leaf too, which is great because it's two different colors. So it's, showing up differently, but it's given that. Yeah. This is super dark here. So that because that is so dark, Take your brush, wet it. Really don't know where my super fine tip one is, but there is, I have one that's long super tip and it's great. Create that distinction there. Blend it out so it's not just a line. And you can pull some of that shadow up onto this, but not a lot. Okay, calling it done. I love it. Have a great time working on this, and please post your projects. Let's share them.